Good day and welcome to Obidati Family TV, the program that hope alive. Today we don't come bring many informations where we say it go sweep obedience worldwide. We don't get the final written address where people be unleashed for INEC as it take hit them back for waiting there as they take talk for their own. You gonna go here as they take hit back. We also get the ones where we say they come from even PDP for their own response, for their own final address. They no mercy INEC. They no mercy the people where we say then they represent Tinubu and Shetima. They no mercy them. Now real bumper action. Now they use take they pursue them. I don't know the word where I go use, but as we know, them talk before say when that time reach where them go respond. Their response go dey explosive, but this time around na real bombshell na this one be. So as soon as see am as they go on for screen, na the petitioner's final written address in response to the second and third respondent final address. That one means say na Tinubu and Shetima's address, na then the address for this very one. Inside this very hour, we go also talk about these very judges, the justices, because news don't come out say no be only that very justice who go. Now be the person where we say then they talk about resignation. They know they talk say now two presidential tribunal justice, now then they pressure to resign. And I want make you know, even before we enter into that very matter, say wherever you see smoke, now be say fire day inside there. Now so INEC tell us when we start say transmission, say then counter am saying a fake news. Now so then talk finish, but last wetin happen? We see say na real gbege, na real shege, now then set out for Nigerians. So we no go just discard this one. If Justice Ugo no wan comot talk because in their life, in get Twitter handle, in get press statement, and people wey be say dem dey write everything for am, wey go respond. If he no respond, we go still use one eye dey look, then go keep our ears open and then talk say our eyes dey on judiciary. No distraction for us. From that very one, we go enter wetin our people dey talk for different platforms and wetin dey happen inside Twitter and as other things dey happen. Even this Lawal case don begin come back because as the man come there for Senate now, nobody know how it take happen. Na only am talk say na Supreme Court na im give am, and then we hear say the same Supreme Court wey give am that kind judgment na Supreme Court wey we dey go meet, and fears don begin dey come. But we know say our own His Excellency Peter Obi say im get trust for where dem dey. Maybe no be as dem take do that one, na im go take do our own. All that one dey come. Even that rumor wey dem dey talk say dem discuss with Chief Justice of Nigeria, dem all those ones dey bring all of those things come. Na back to back. And people wey be say dem there with me for studio to discuss all of this. Angel there and Esther follow me there for studio.
Yes, so fellow obedient, it's Hope Alive o'clock. Welcome to the show. Let's discuss.
Yes, so my people, my well-meaning Nigerians, my fabulous obedient worldwide, welcome on board. No smoke without fire. All eyes on judiciary. Make una open una eyes wide. Make we know where this rumor they come from. Make we know say in every nonsense there is a sense. Whether they won't use this resign, delay our matter, delay our mandate. Make we put eye for wetin dey happen. Make we put ear for ground. You know say obedient always one step ahead. Welcome on board. Tell your neighbor say hope dey. Obedient family dey on board. Welcome. Let's discuss.
Yes, happening now as Hope Alive don begin dey bring our hope, say hope dey. We go start with this very news again about this very Justice Ugo, because now the news don enter say no be only Justice Ugo get another justice, and as we dey talk, no be say they dey talk say whether confirmation, but this one na from Vanguard newspaper. As dem take put am for there, they say the non-governmental organization NGO face of Waziri Nigeria, where dem call am say strong indications have emerged of frantic efforts to frustrate at least 2 of the justices at Presidential Election Petition Tribunal to resign in order to make mess of the judicial panel. The group's Director General, when they call Comrade Buki Adeniyi, now he talk this one for Lagos. And then he talk say, given the existing legal proviso which necessitates a replacement and retrieval in case the justice resign and consequently translate to buying time beyond that stipulated by the Supreme Court, is a ploy to make the case statute bad, that is statute bad and of no effect. Meaning say, if they come out somebody from there now be say case done yakata. Then come talk say there is surreptitious move by the president Bola Tinubu as they take talk to make the justices resign, which is targeted at ensuring the time frame of 180 days elapses before the case is concluded by the panel. According to Adeniyi, he said the justice has not resigned at the moment, but we have it on good authority that Mr. Tinubu and his team are seriously working hard to threaten and frustrate 1 or 2 of them to resign so that the panel will be bereft of jurisdiction at this stage. This will lead to the replacement and retrieval de novo, in which case it will be statute bars once outside the 180 days stipulated by the Constitution and attendant of which ends the matter, because Supreme Court cannot extend the time. Now, so this Adeniyi take talk. And now for Vanguard newspaper, this one day, make dem no talk say na Obidati Family TV. Now then begin they raise the issue of 2 people now instead of 1. So now from Vanguard newspaper, this one come out. You know, if you go check them out. So, but wetin we at Obidati Family TV they talk be say nowhere where we say smoke they come out where you no go see fire. I don't know, except na pressing iron, na burn somebody cloth, and you go still see say fire still happen. So when they may talk this one, make we take one eye close like this and one eye go there open, so obedience we don't begin the wising up. With that very one, make we quickly, before we go to the petition, the final reply where we say P2B unleash, make we look at some of the things where PDP talk for their own, because their own also get strong word where we say they use. I won't make una see. So for this very one now their preliminary observation, now they take column. Now so they talk this. So I said at this stage, they said it is pertinent to observe from the outset that the second respondent final address, then they talk about Shetima and Tinubu's final address, with respect reflects a complete misconception and unfortunate misunderstanding of the case of the petitioners. Notwithstanding the magisterial arrogance, condensing cynicism, and overbearing misanthropy, BB grammar na in there here, where we say even I won't bite my tongue. They said they will trivialize the petitioner's case, as will be shown here under. They say furthermore, a subtle threat of apocalyptic catastrophe of national chaos and anarchy, if a judgment is not given in a particular manner, cannot deter a court of law from doing justice. The court must do justice, rather let the heavens fall. But as courageously stated by the Supreme Court per Justice Oguntade, for one case where we say na Amoechi versus INEC for 2008, then come quote them. That one sweet me, and I thought say I go bring, and they said that justice of the Supreme Court, make I quote waiting in talk for that Amoechi versus INEC case. They talk say, I must do justice even if the heavens fall. The truth, of course, is that when justice has been done, the heavens stay in place. Me, I go talk say the heavens stay intact. So I talk say make I bring this one, make una for no say if this justices, this same man where talk this thing for this Amoechi case, make the justices where they now make them also know say nothing go happen. The truth when it comes out is when justice has been done. When you have done justice, heaven stays intact. That is, rain go even fall when we say e go bless that day. Now so e go take be. So I say for inside PDP written address, make I tell our people say then they still they address that issue when they talk say anarchy, chaos, and many things go happen. Then talk say heavens no go fall, and they don't even quote Supreme Court case come there. Then for this same PDP final written address, e get another thing for this year paragraph 5.24 where they talk. Where we say I won't bring them to our attention. They said we further submit that the admission by INEC in its reply that it had no electronic collation system to which presiding officers were required to electronically transmit the result of the election directly from the polling unit shows that the election was conducted by INEC based on a grave misrepresentation. Now, before I continue, I want let you know that thing when I talk before. Say, INEC they talk since saying a manual collation system they use. Say they no use electronic, but if when I read that their reply when we talk that time, you go see say INEC talk say then their reply say they no get electronic collation system, but e get wetin happen to court or when we say they contradict, and that one alone they good to nullify. But before I get there, make I conclude waiting there for your screen. They said the political parties and their candidates, especially the petitioners, were deceived as to the manner of the conduct of the election by INEC, which is akin to changing the rules of a game in the middle of the play. We submit that this revelation alone coming out of INEC in the middle of the proceedings is sufficient for this honorable court to nullify the election as not being free, fair, and same effects affects the very foundation of electoral process. Now, make we go to wetin happen for court on the 19th of June. I won't recall for now because we show na the transcript wetin happen and how INEC by their own mouth, by the witness, by their own official confessed that there was an electronic collation system, which that is a transmission system. Call it transfer or transmit, now the same thing. Now, on this 19th of June, PDP called a witness who was a presiding officer. When INEC was conducting cross-examination by themselves, which is A.B. Mahmoud, their lawyer, he asked that very person, you electronically transmitted to the collation system and IRF successfully for last election, and he answered yes. Make we show that transcript, produce a beg. Show that very transcript. Yes. As you can see on the screen now, this transcript, now what happened on June 19. Whether they don't forget, we know they forget. We will go back to what happened that very time. We'll carry and come back. Now, at that very time, the PDP, at the end of the process, you took the result to your ward collation center. Witness said, yes, I did. This very one, no be this thing cross-examination. No be PDP, they cross-examine. Now Mahmoud of INEC. So now INEC, now be the person who be say they do this cross-examination. So they said, at the end of the process, you took the result to your ward collation center. Now so INEC asks. Witness talk say, yes, I did. Now, INEC say in paragraph 9H of your statement, you said you have a snapshot of the NAS result. The witness said yes. INEC continued. They said, you also did same for the presidential election. Now, question the INEC, they asked that very witness. The witness talk say yes. Now, make una see that place where we circle on red. INEC Mahmoud asked, when you said electronically transmitted to collation system and IRF successfully, you are referring to successful transfer of the NAS election? And the witness said yes. Now, make we hold on there. This very INEC lawyer, now they ask the presiding officer of that very as a witness who is standing before the court. And the question be say, the electronical, you said you electronically transmitted to a collation system and IREV successfully, you are referring to successful transfer to the NAS of the NAS election. Now, then they talk about the one of National Assembly. So, it means say electronic, I just want to make our people know say INEC get electronic system where we say they work on that very day. And they electronically transferred or transmitted the results from the polling units. Yes. But the one when they talk here, now the one of NAS. So when they come back for that, their final written address, they talk say they no do electronic transmission or transfer. Then talk say na collation, na manual collation. Then don't lie to themselves and then lie for inside court. So make these judges they note these things down, because now from their own presiding officer we hear say they do electronic transmission. As you know, that one where they transfer even a day to the election, Mahmoud Yakub wey be the INEC chairman come out say they no go do collation electronic wey be say dem go show results, but dem go show for IREV. But that one wey dem talk say make people for no manipulate the result if you go in, they still do that one transferred electronically, but that one no dey show to us. So when they talk say dem don truncate the manual, the electronic, say na only manual dem do, na big lies na dem bring come. With that very one, I want make we begin the move to our very own P2B's final written address. But before we enter that very one, I want hear one man wey be say he talk something wey be say I want share with our people. And that very thing wey he talk say the integrity of INEC na im be the major thing. No be only about integrity. Make I no carry him mouth talk am. Make we hear as him talk am for Arise News.
I think first, INEC, every election will have logistic shortcomings because of project management capabilities that we don't have in this country or don't have enough capacity. But the real thing that INEC always skips is the integrity failure. That's the critical thing. Look, people were not going to break their head. People were not going to go to court. Have you seen, look at the electoral cases, look at all the cases in court. None of them is about voting started 30 minutes after schedule. Nobody really goes to court to challenge, logistic failures. What you go to court is, the votes was 40 for A, 80 for B. INEC and the officials changed it and put, that's what you're going to hear. The key thing INEC is not addresses integrity failure. For example, the Act says you have the power to disqualify. Why will you allow somebody who has fake certificate to process? You have all the time. You are doing consultation, meeting with the road transport union. Why not first do that? If you look at the US, anywhere in the world, you file your intention to contest election. The regulator use that intention to do a probe, tell the public. And when people say this person has no qualification or didn't do that, the regulator excludes you. Now, INEC will play dead brain, flood the whole place with people who are not qualified, fake results everywhere, fake certificate. Then after election, they start between with road transport workers. Look, the key missing thing in this election was failure of integrity that was either deliberate or based on ignorance. In 2019, in this Arise, we debated it and said, INEC is more of a regulator. You cannot do election where you now outsource every of these crises to the courts. You have simple things you can establish. Who is qualified to run? That's the beginning. Who has the papers to run? Who has made wrong entry? Who has not filed his papers within the time allowed? Those things are strict liability. You exclude them, election continues. So INEC bungles everything deliberately and then starts a show voting. Meet with road transport worker, meet with garage sellers, meet with newspaper printers. That's not the job. The real thing that is at stake in this election is integrity. And integrity is critical to economic development, to democracy. You cannot surrender the regulatory power of the state in order to allow few individuals access power and achieve their political ambition. The country, at a moment like this, we need clarity. And that's why the courts now have to step in to second-guess INEC, disregard INEC's error, and restate back the integrity of rules, and restate back the constitutional requirement for qualifications and for declarations and for every writing across all the tribunals. We have to save this country. You know, there's what they call the theory of decay. So Jared Diamond of Columbia wrote about it. It's like a slippery slope. A country begins to go down because the elites overlook critical moral failures. That moral clarity is what we need at this point. To say, look, the republic is more important than anybody's political interest. And if we don't do that, we're going to see the rise of criminal networks. You see judges disappear on the streets. You see now they are trying to force judges to resign in order to create stalemate. We are getting to a dangerous direction, and we need the people to support the court to stand up and save the republic.
You know, don't hear them. So sometimes some Ahmadi, they don't talk in own, but they talk about the elites. And waiting then they talk about the elites. Now, when we say you hear something and you see something and you close your mouth, it not supposed to be like this. That INEC integrity, everything where INEC do, where they wrong, they need to start talking about it. See, the way we look at it, even from the electoral side of it, by now, we should have a commission or a committee set up to probe INEC chairman. By now, we should have somebody who looked at the law that says 3-year jail term is awaiting somebody who did something that is wrong in an election. This very flawed, that even international observers, ECOWAS, everybody said integrity is a question. However, make we go back, make I know talk too much about this one, make we enter waiting our own P2B's final written address they talk. I want to start with that sentence because I want to take on for different pages where we say we mark, make we for discuss waiting happen there. If we start for this one, we'll be say there for the page 10 for that final written address. They start with a sentence in the second and third respondents' address alarmed the petitioners and millions of Nigerians. The second and third respondent went too low and abandoned discretion when they claimed as follows. Our submission is that the petitioners are inviting anarchy by their ventilation of this issue of non-transmission of results electronically by INEC. This is a cheap, misguided, and destructive blackmail clearly intended to target the country's judicial and the constitutionalism. It also aims at cannibalizing our democracy. It will also raise the issue of insecurity if the petitioners emulate the bad example of the second and third respondent. However, that will never happen. When has it become offensive for petitioners to canvass a ground prescribed for the challenge of an election in section 134(1)B of the Electoral Act 2022? It's a question. Desperation taken too far can be extremely dangerous. Let the second and third respondent, which is Tinubu and Shetima, know that where the rule of law is trampled upon or truncated, anarchy reigns supreme. Now, it be the word where we say our people give them for that very place. We will digest them another time, but make we see what in them talk for the next page where we say we don't cycle. Because for here, what in them they talk about now about that thing where we say Tinubu and Shetima, they talk about the chaos and anarchy where they talk say it go happen. But as we talk, heavens no go fall. And even if the truth is upheld, heaven will be intact. Then this very particular one for page 11, they said, by the provisions of section 65 of the Electoral Act, it is clearly provided that the presiding officer shall transfer the results, including total number of accredited voters, and the result of the ballot in a manner as prescribed by the commission. And as he said, them put on for bold, that very quote. Now, it is submitted by section 66 of the Electoral Act, a contravention of the duties incumbent in the presiding officer, as mandated by section 60 of the Act, is punishable upon conviction with a fine or imprisonment. It is further submitted by the panel nature of the duties under Section 60, subsection 5 of the Act, the requirement for the presiding officer to transfer the result in a manner prescribed by the Commission connotes that the clear intention of the lawmaker is that any non-compliance with the subsection will attract serious consequences. Serious consequences. Now, so then take talk. Now, Angie, I know say your mother they do mui.
This INEC and their wahala, their integrity is already on the mud. No be say go come. I even applaud you for even giving, if their mind never dey there, make their mind dey now. Make they raise that committee. Because you see that INEC chairman, he must be used as an example. Yes, they go use him as scapegoat. So that anybody where they make INEC chairman next time, he go know say it's no longer business as usual. Because every time where they talk, it be like say Nigerians no get sense again. Now they can't get sense. He go Chatham House, he talk say na real time. He talk say na transfer, transmit. Then he come reach court, say na manual. Who they deceive who now? I beg, make them no make me vex. Because everybody no be fool for Nigeria. We get professors wey get sense. Even normal person wey no go school get sense. In dey clear. So why INEC they shoot themselves on the leg? They look say na you people be fool. I beg, all eyes on judiciary. All eyes. Judiciary, you on trial. We don't finish with INEC. INEC don't rub themselves inside mud. Make judge, tribunal judges, make them just open their eyes. You see this our passport. Make the integrity come back. Now beg at the beg on. Because anywhere where Nigerians go, they go look am with one bad eye. I beg, make una bring this integrity of
yes, Angel, you see, why I dey shake my head as you dey talk? I dey vision, and because even as you talk, all the people will be saying they there for Nigeria, even where they for street people, they pick degrees for street. The degree not be until you get certificate for school. You understand me? If you go, we become streetwise because people when they feed for them, I say they get sense. Yes. What they talk be say, you get people where be say they get sense even for street. Not be until you go become professor.
Because professor don't even make everybody they fear professor.
Okay.
Professor Mahmoud, you know, can they behave like professor self?
Make we look at this page 13 again. They say according to the second and third respondents, the petitioner's main gross is that while the presidential election was peacefully conducted and the result accurately recorded in their various Form EC8As, some unidentified results were not uploaded to the INEC election result viewing portal IREV. With very great respect, the second and third respondent completely missed the point. Their said summation smacks of a deliberate and mischievous misunderstanding of the kernel of the petitioner's case. The pertinent question is, how can an election result that lacks transparency violate specific rules? Make we see page 14 where this thing there. Now, he said the upload and transmission of result of the election from the polling unit using beavers to the IREV was a significant feature of the 2023 general election, which the first respondent, that is INEC, severally represented, marketed to both the Nigerian public and the international community as a major innovation. Introducing that will guarantee transparency in the conduct of the 2023 general election. Then talk. This representation described by the first respondent, INEC, as a major innovation was established before this honorable court through the evidence of PW3, PW5, and PW6. This one that the petitioners witness 6, petitioners witness 7. Then they talk about the witnesses. Welcome court, welcome talker. From the video recording shown and played in open court as exhibits, the above representation was made locally here in Nigeria, also to the international community at Chatham House, London, during which the said INEC chairman reaffirmed that INEC was irrevocably committed to upholding the election. Now, if so, wetin all this one dey mean? You see this one wey enter 15, then just one side this thing, but wetin we dey talk there? INEC, we don carry all the evidence enter court. Those evidence wey we enter court with, na im we dey talk about. People wey come testify 2023 election, every child, even the one wey be say dem carry for belle, if dem hear where im mama dey talk am, na electronic make wetin dem write there no confuse anybody. That's why our own lawyers don write their own to correct. That's why dem dey talk say na grave misrepresentation na dem dey bring before this court. And I want make our people know, make them no talk say our lawyers no do their work well, they no write am well or something like that. I want make them know say them position these things well, and then they remind the justices, this 5-man panel headed by Justice Samani, say, see where these people they mislead them all, because they talk am. This very witness where they carry come court, where we say arise news person come bring him own, channels person bring am. Wetin that witness mean? E mean say na these people dey talk to not just Nigerians but international community. There is no point, there's nowhere INEC chairman went and said anything about manual collation. And make I remind una, some of them dey come back, they talk say court talk say INEC can chook the manner dem prescribe wey dem go use. Wetin dem prescribe for Nigerians na electronic transmission. Real time, no be even na any other thing. Make we see that very video before we continue. If producer, if you get this very one, okay, you carry tweet of wetin Nigerians don begin dey talk, enter. Anyway, no problem. If na the one I don bring for my front, make I dey wire am dey go. This one say, a quick reminder, do not forget that the criminals in Nigerian judiciary made Ahmed Lawan a senator, knowing fully well that he did not participate in the primaries. Okay, I don't see the reason why I bring and come for me. When I won't give me a reminder, no problem. We will keep our eyes on the judiciary. And now this same Lawan, I ain't talk say whether transfer or transmission, now the same thing he be. The only thing be say, make it be say, the result they come out directly from the polling units. Now so he talk say that law where them put take be. Make we hear waiting where me talk for our own.
Where me they talk this one say judiciary pushed Hope Uzodinma from fourth to winner. Judiciary made Ahmed Lawan a senator, knowing he never contested. If you give the judiciary a room to slack, they will abuse you. All eyes on the judiciary. Well, wetin me I go talk for this one, even as all eyes there for judiciary, wetin I go talk for this one be say our able His Excellency Peter Obi talk say in gets this thing for judiciary, because judiciary don't do it for am before, and our senior MB, now be the person will be say our patron in talk say make we believe in the judiciary. So even as we keep our eyes on the judiciary, we believe say them go give us our mandate back. So even as we keep our eyes, now make we keep am open all the time. Now in that one be, make we take another look for waiting our people they talk for space, because I know say on a one make we hear waiting our people they talk, waiting they go on.
Allegation against Justice Kadi Ariwola, the city. I mean, is it fair for, well, whatever has happened, there are allegations against Justice Kadi Ariwola, the sitting CJN. His predecessor, Justice Tanko, there were allegations against him also about issues of corruption. The CJN before Justice Tanko, you remember what happened. There were also allegations of corruption. And you also mentioned the former CJN, Justice Kasena Alu. I mean, is this mudslinging taken too far? Or
this is not mudslinging, my brother. No, this is not mudslinging, with all due respect. There is no mudslinging. You see, judicial decision-making is not rocket science. Nobody, not even Supreme Court justices, can defend the judgment in the Lawan case. I'm sorry. Not even Supreme Court justices can defend making Hope Uzodinma the governor of Imo State, making the fourth person number one. So we've got to admit there is a problem. There is a problem with judicial credibility. And this credibility crisis arises almost always in party political cases and election petitions. And I said so when I addressed the Ikeja Bar on the 15th of June. It goes back to the 1979 election. Since we have been in the presidential system, judges have increasingly played a role in adjudicating election disputes. Up to 2003, I think it was tolerable. After 2003, we went into a new territory in which judges began to decide who won and lost elections, started adding and subtracting numbers. And with that, the levels of money being thrown at judges in order to buy decisions began to change. The corruption, therefore, and this is not about saying this is about judges alone, because politicians are involved, senior lawyers are involved. The ICPC has in fact certified that this is the case. That there was an ICPC report on this in 2020. So I'm not manufacturing anything here. And judges have a responsibility. It is not mudslinging. People cannot trust the judiciary anymore. That is fact. And there are facts, credibly attested